Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Welcome, and this is Tarot Joy, and Happy New Year. Hi, Joseph. Did you have a great New Year's?
Yes, it was very nice, and Happy New Year. I hope you
Happy
had a
New Year
nice.
to you.
Yeah.
I
Was it
ate a lot of
quiet, or
chocolate.
did you party, or was it a
Oh,
quiet?
no, it's always quiet. I prefer not to be on the
Same
roads
here.
that night.
Yeah,
And
I prefer
I,
that.
yeah, we just kind of ate some steaks and chocolate, and we sat with the
Nice.
animals. And they always say that whatever energy is going on during New Year's Eve is what you can expect will be a carry through for the next year. So I
Hmm.
thought far better not to hit a deer or have some
Right,
kind of disaster and make
right,
sure that everything is in the vibe of peacefulness. So
right,
that's the way we did it.
right.
How
And
about you?
you don't have to kiss a room full of strangers at midnight
Oh my
either,
goodness,
and you
isn't
don't
that
have to
true?
start your year with a bug or something horrible.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
No, I would rather just stay home and actually, or just have a quiet time. What I used to always do was have a few friends that lived within walking distance nearby, and I would just have them over in the evening, and we'd have some wine and maybe watch TV or something, or sit around and socialize. And lately, it's
Right.
since I live with friends, I have two roommates. I don't have to go out any place to see
Yep,
anybody.
they're right.
So,
Yeah.
we, just have a glass of wine, and I think we had checked in on the New Year's Eve TV show, just out of obligation. I don't watch them, but I figure, oh well, the name Dick Clark, and it's just sort of homage, I suppose. Um, but that's what we did, and that's nice. You have some cheese and crackers, some wine, and some things, some candy maybe. Uh,
I think it's a part of maybe getting wiser and older
I think
that
that might be
we
it.
because I can remember being desperate if I did not have a huge party or
Well,
something to go to.
I
But
always had some place
that's
to
just
go. Yeah, when I was younger,
yeah,
there was always a good party to go to. But
right.
a lot of times I went because, well, if I don't go, that's not good, and people are expecting me to go, and
Right.
But actually, I would rather not go. I would rather not go out or have anybody come. I would rather not have anyone go out on that day in particular, just because of all the accidents that it's
Oh
known
yeah, we
for.
had freezing rain, I think, close by, and there were some cars in the ditches and things. So
Oh
I
yeah,
do
you
want to
see that.
say, I do want to say that as we say these words, fires are ravaging Australia. I'm reading
Yes.
this from the Druids' Garden, and it says it's a very bleak situation ecologically and politically. The fires are at the point where they are the entire state of West Virginia and all through the entire continent, particularly along the coast. And the worst part is that the consequences for this is that while billions of lives have been consumed, it's the human race will go on, right? We are the cockroaches of the earth. We will survive, but it's
Yeah.
the animals, the insects, the bird, the fish, the reptiles, the amphibians, the plants, and the fungi, which are going to go extinct from this, and that many of the places, the houses where, that were on TV, I watched a lot of times the animal programs, and they are in Australia and places where they were holding extinct animals and giving them a place to live and survive in case of something like this. But what do you do when even those buildings are burning up?
Exactly.
So we will hope that they found a place for those animals. And of course, we wish all those people that have lost homes or have been driven out of their cities that our deepest, um, you know, sorrow and but we can't do anything about the drought. I don't know that the drought, of course, any small human error will ignite the forests and the
Well, I did
but
notice here that this article that you're referring to also has some suggestions for uh, rituals for and simple visualization to try to help, even though, because it seems like they're trying everything physically possible. And this goes on to say, why not try something that we can't necessarily explain, something paranormal, perhaps. And what I noticed it says visualization is a powerful tool. And they suggest that for your first technique and attempt at using this, is to begin with some deep breathing and choose a quiet place, a place that you would find sacred and conducive to this type of meditation, or any kind of place that you go to calm down and clear your head. Um, as you visualize, they recommend try to imagine seeing the continent of Australia and see the fires burning there. Try to get this mental image in your mind. And then as you visualize this, imagine gentle rains coming to calm the fires and putting them out. Imagine the animals, insects, and all life returning to these ravaged places, and send peace, calm, and healing to these lands. So I thought that was very interesting. But it is something that a
yes,
person, but now you see, it is unexplained how emotions and thoughts and this sort of extreme concentration and deep meditation does have an effect on reality. It is something that we don't quite understand, but it seems to have this effect. And the combined, because there's a lot that we don't quite understand, and I won't get into the many different theories about how our reality works, because it just could go on forever and we don't have time. But that's why prayer is useful. I'm not saying, prayer specifically to anyone. I'm not saying that you should join a religion if you don't have one, and I'm not saying that you should. I'm saying try to use your mind in this way. And see, and prayers do help to train the mind to
right.
focus on these energies. You don't necessarily, I'm not going to debate whether you need to have a deity to pray to, but you just try it without it. Try to think about this. Try to visualize Australia being quenched with all the rain that it needs to put out these fires. And so, why not? It can't hurt to do this. It's a
Right.
positive energy. So that's why I thought that was interesting to see that these rituals for rain and protection here. Um,
Or if you're a Reiki healer,
oh yes, and this goes back to the
Reiki.
Pennsylvania Dutch. Yeah, it's very old. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
Reiki healers who use hands-on healing, long
Mm,
distance healing, symbols to be able to light up and empower and
mhm.
take away the past life dynamics of the trauma within the body. That is
Oh no.
basically visualization in the same way, right? So
Right.
if you can believe that
Mhm.
in Reiki and hands-on healing, or the sounds of music as being healing, then you can also use visualization of a quiet rain on Australia, and all the things that Joseph mentioned that will help. It between prayer and visualization and the ability to heal long distance from Reiki, all of these things, no matter how little bit of distance, I'm not going to say everybody at a certain time join. No, I'm going to say in whatever time that is convenient for you and you feel relaxed. That is the
Right.
time that you need to take to send a little bit of healing for not just the people, but how many kangaroos and types of koala bears there just breaks my heart when I see these koala bears that are just their little paws burned up drinking water.
Oh,
Ugh.
yeah, yeah. What's
So,
interesting, I wish, now you could recommend the site or post a link to the site because there's also, they have included with this article, the author created a unique hex sign, and that you've seen these on old barns and houses out in the
right?
country.
In the
These are
Midwest, they're
right.
everywhere.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, nobody ever wants to paint over these things. So first of all, they're lovely works of art, and they're there for a reason. Nobody,
The,
people would say, well, we don't really believe in that, and it's kind of a pagan thing, I suppose. They want to call it whatever they
it
want, but
is
they
a
still
pagan thing. It is.
they don't want to paint over it though. And so I mean, I love these. These are those
I
Pennsylvania
do.
Dutch things that are to protect from the elements and also to ensure that your property is prosperous. And I love that. But they also created one for you to meditate on while thinking of Australia. And I think it's interesting because it has a five-pointed pentagram, a star, in the center, surrounded by water, big water drops. There are three big drops of water swirling around the star, and it's all encompassed in a circle. And that is the earth, the water, and that's really a very good, helpful tool. If you can't visualize, just meditate upon that. And because some people are not very good at seeing or creating that image in their head, they're not.
Well, some of
Uh,
those aren't some of those symbols a little bit like
oh, they're
here in the
reminders. Yeah.
Midwest, it's normal stuff for
Oh yeah,
farmers to
yes.
create mazes of corn, and
Oh yeah,
people walk around in the mazes and they
yeah.
find the pathway. But isn't there um, a healing passage uh, that um,
Well, like walking the matrix of types.
yes,
It's a yeah, it is a learning and spiritual journey, and sometimes it's called walking the matrix. Actually, the first time I heard of that was in a science fiction novel written by Roger Zelazny, who wrote Nine Princes in Amber, or the Amber Chronicles, Amber, and actually walking the pattern, as they called it. There was a ritual that the members of this family would do, and there was this intricate pattern that they had to walk. And it was a
yes,
matrix. It was a matrix, and it's really kind of neat because people have done this with bricks. They have laid out on their, if they have some land. There is a university in DeKalb, Northern Illinois. That park, there's a park in DeKalb that has a matrix in stone laid out like this. It's very nice, and
I'm trying to figure out
I
what is the name of the word that
yeah, okay, now,
people.
but now not to be confused with crop circles.
No,
Okay,
no, no, no,
not
no,
to
because
be
that's
confused with
something
crop circles.
else.
That's
We, wa-
somebody else.
I, I have Mystic Empress in there, and I want to say hi. The Labyrinth,
Oh,
that's what I'm thinking of. Labyrinth.
labyrinth. Yes,
Yes,
that's what
thank
I'm
you,
trying to.
Mystic Empress. I
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Also, Queen is in here, our room today. And if you will allow us to, Queen and Mystic Empress, we would love to give you a couple of readings. And so thank you so much for being with us, and we can start there. Let me check. We also have Russell from Ohio,
Oh,
and
Russell.
we have Jan from LA,
Hey, Jan.
and then we have Queen, and we have Empress in the
Okay.
chat in the YouTube box. So I'm going to start, first of all, Queen and Empress, if you will let us read for Russell first. And he is in the Achieve studio. And then we're going to run back and take a reading right into our YouTube chat box, which also has on the side places where people can send questions. So Russell says, can you tell me about the job situation? Lost casino job, and I have just my gas station job left. Had 12 interviews since late July and no offers. Had a couple of phone interviews today and some part-time stuff in the works. What can you see, Joe?
Well, I do see here that the Three of Wands encourages you to keep it up, keep those contacts up, try to make new ones, keep up what you're doing, because it will lead. Keep up all this hard work. Don't give up, because it will lead to something that requires your leadership skills. You might be in charge of something. So I am seeing that, and it's Three of Wands. That would be three, possibly in 3 days to 3 weeks, but I'm thinking probably 3 weeks to 3 months, because it takes time to for this. That's why I don't want you to give up, and don't give up, because everything that you're doing is going to lead to this. So I am seeing that there's a new business or idea that's coming around. It's come to you, and I do see that your skills will be very good with that. And that's what I see for now. Okay. I do see down the line you might have arguments with someone of a romantic nature, a lover that you might have a fight with. So I do see that you're incompatible with somebody, and that's coming up. And actually, they're not evil, you're not evil. It's just not a good, it's for now, it's certainly not a good chemical reaction, and you need to look at that. This is nobody's fault. It's just not working. That's all. Okay? So that's coming down the line, and that's another threes. So it seems like this might all be happening at the same time. Something good with the job, something bad with the love life. Okay, that might be what it's coming down to. Okay, Anne Marie,
Okay, so
you're
I'm just
next.
kind of looking at energetically what 2020 will be for you when I look at work. And when I look at that, and this is for Russell, and what I see, and Russell is from Ohio, it says the following. This is a great year for you to understand that in order to get support from the universe and from your angels, you need to stop doubting in them. It says you've had some real lack of faith in your sense of self-esteem, and that you feel that there's no one there to support you, Russell. But what your reading is saying is that you must work twice as hard manifesting. Now, what is manifesting? Manifesting is when you tell yourself for sure you can see a job, feel it, touch it, visualize it, and when you go to sleep or wake up in the morning with that specific vision, manifesting is when energy parallels with your vision and it manifests into reality. So what I am shown is that it's really hard to tell you this, but I'm shown until you practice this as a routine, your little jobs are going to get you by, but look out for spring when I see you rock and rolling into a magnetic, energetic, and awesome time of jobs coming your way and everything seeming to be like when it rains, it pours. But January, February, and March are seen as practice your ability to visualize and manifest. That's going to
Threes.
lead you to spring. Okay? So we're going to go into, Jan, we'll get to you in a minute. We're going to go to the uh, YouTube room. And the first person there was Queen Mother Goddess. You know her, don't you? You've seen her before, haven't you?
No.
Oh, she's been with us before.
Really? Queen
Queen is
Mother,
big on Facebook,
is
and
that?
she looks
Oh,
like an
okay.
Egyptian. She looks like an Egyptian goddess, and
Oh,
she
Queen
makes
Mother
beautiful
Goddess.
jewelry, and she makes wonderful art, and she is an awesome lady.
Oh,
So
great.
let's do one for Queen Mother Goddess.
Well, what's on her mind?
We'll just pick up what comes through.
Well. I'd say that something has caused you to become very, very over emotional. And it seems like lately that, oh, I don't know. It sounds to me like you need a vacation. What we have here is the high priestess, and she's on her head. She's upside down. So everything's in disarray. It's like even getting dressed could be a problem because just nothing's where it should be. Everything's all over the place, and nothing is just working out really well. I would have to say it's either that, or you need to be aware of a female friend of yours who is deceitful, and she might be causing these problems. Not on purpose, but some people have this wonderful ability sometimes just to cause problems just by being there. And I don't know how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mean to. I call these wonderful people, God bless them, but they are called the harbingers of doom, and they're the ones that were like, yeah, they're the ones that are very sweet, and they accidentally do things that actually can destroy everything you've been working on within 30 seconds. It is amazing how and it's like, oops, I tripped over this cord. I hope it wasn't important. And that's how you meet them. And that cord is attached to your iron lung, it just so happens. So it's something like that. It's a person who just causes problems without really meaning to. And I don't know how they manage to do that. It's because they're not connected. But I do see that there's a lot of emotions going on with you, and that's probably why things are in disarray, because you're not able to relax. So this card is reminding you that that you need to be aware of other people who are not on the level or not on par. And once you realize that, then things will start to fall into place. And I do see that after that, coming along down the road very soon, if you're looking for a different, now I don't know what your question was. Um,
She hadn't posted it yet.
okay, but that's okay. That's okay. Because
Yeah.
I kind of like
This is
doing
just
these
kind of what
readings
the elements of
without being,
the
yes,
elements
I
what
like
we
this.
see.
Because coming down the road, I do want to mention, because I was talking about a relationship, and this could be relationships that have to do with work. This could be like you're not getting along with a boss, and the job is just all over the road, and that might be why it's very difficult to concentrate. But I do see that coming down the road, it looks like a change of career to and or staying in within education, medicine, or religion. And I do see something that gives you increased knowledge that you'll be happier doing down the road. It says here that you have the skills to be a good educator or to be someone that gives seminars, and you have these skills. So if someone's been trying to talk you into it and you feel like, no, well, actually, you should probably give it a shot because you do have a skill there, even if you haven't used it. You never know until you try it, and this is one of those. You're being encouraged in the near future to go do what's right, take the good moral path. And there's a reason for that. We don't know why, but you won't be sorry. But if you come faced with doing the wrong thing and doing the right thing, even though doing the right thing is a drag, pick the right thing. Believe me. You'll look back and go, whew, okay, that's coming down the road. So that's what I got to say.
Queen Mother
Anne
Goddess's
Marie, what do you
question.
got?
Queen Mother Goddess's question says that she is opening up the temple doors on January 11th, 2020, and she needs insight as to how to widen the path. It is of the seminar.
Okay.
So
Watch out for the people.
if I if I look
Yeah.
at opening the temple doors of the seminar and on that specific date, and I look at how does the energy of that date and the coming months look for you, Queen, what comes through is this. It may take it a little bit of time to get off the ground, Queen. It shows that at this specific time, there is a sense that an opportunity may cause or have a delay. But it's asking you to be patient. Patience is the most important dynamic that I see that is needed for the temple doors to open of the seminar. It says that right now your gut is telling you in a rather strange way that perhaps if you just waited until possibly, I'm going to say, March, you would find that there is more flow, more awareness, more respect, more security, and more receptivity to the opening of the doors of the seminar for you. On the other hand, it could mean that if you open the seminar doors, please know that it just may mean that it will take a little while for the people to come and be consistently coming. It may take a time frame of 3 months until March. See, December, January, February, March, yeah, about 3 months. And I really believe that it's an amazing journey for you ahead, but I do believe that there may be this gut feeling within you to understand you were right if you felt this, that perhaps you may be getting ahead of yourself. And it says March is the perfect time, but then again, it may be about marketing, it may be about passing pamphlets, it may be about getting people excited. Um, okay, she says the seminars, yes. Confirmation of his words seminar. Okay, as a minister. Okay, so all I can tell you is that what I see is that you won't see a thriving following until March, April. And my feeling is to expect that, to be patient, and not to allow it to get to your self esteem. Marketing, yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I think. I think that is what it's going to take. If you need to market the crap out of it for the next 3 months, I think that's going to be. You know what I think of, Queen? I think of oh Hoopy, the nun. You know
Oh,
that one
Sister
where
Act.
sister, and she's making the choir go, and the congregations come off the streets,
Yeah.
and they're getting into it, and it's like I just thought of that when you said that. It
Well,
sounds like all I could imagine was Queen, with
I'm
getting
getting
people excited.
fives. I'm getting fives, actually
Uh-huh.
fives. And I don't think it would be 5 weeks. That just sounds too soon. So I hate to
I
say
come
it, but
from
it
a
could be like
spring.
five.
I come from
Yeah,
spring.
spring, just like with the last few readings we've done seem to be best improvements as we get toward March. But it's a
Right.
bumpy start. It's going to be a bump. For some reason, they're very similar readings, and they're not about the same thing, but they all indicate a bumpy start getting better in March.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do see that spring is the time, but you gotta start working on it right now. You gotta market the heck out of it, so that when you get to that point, people have already heard of it, and that's when they'll be out and about. You know,
Right. Right.
yeah,
So, Queen, give us a like for those readings and we'll appreciate it.
yeah.
The video alike. Okay, so I am going to go back to the Achieve Room, and we have Jan. And Jan says, "Hi, Joseph and Anne Marie. Can I have a
I,
reading on how the people I work with perceive me, or a reading of what you see for this month? Thank you, Jan." Okay, and we'll go
how,
back to the room, the chat room, or the video room, and take that and take you, Empress, next time after this one. So, looking at Jan, how do people perceive her?
hmm, I want to shuffle my cards again.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's
Shall
just
I
one
go
of these
first?
things that,
Shall I
yeah,
go
go
first?
ahead. No, that's okay. 'Cause I just needed, I had flipped something out and it was kind of weird. So I do see what I drew here was the Eight of Pentacles. And that's a very, pentacles are always going to be monetary. I do see that they see you as someone who pays attention to details. I would say, um, but you have to watch out. I'm seeing that somebody might think that perhaps you're not checking your work for accuracy, even though you know how it is, how sometimes things might be done a little too fast and other people don't really believe that you did it right because it happened so quickly. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
actually, it is done right. It is done
Mm-hmm.
fine. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, don't be surprised if people do double check your work in that because you might be the type of person that is so efficient that they can't possibly believe that you did it right. And I just noticed that I've had that happen to me a few times because I usually just get things right off and I just take care of it. And they
Mm.
go, "Really, you did it already?" It's like, yeah. It's like, and some people, you know, and
That can't be.
well, the thing is, it depends on on how you've spent your life. And a lot of times, it's that you have to. Sometimes, if you have jobs your whole life where you cannot make errors, you cannot make errors in some jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You can lose your job for that. I mean, if you make more than one, you go. I mean, a lot of times you make that one and you go. It depends on what it is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it depends on what the outcome is. But I would say this is also a message to you that you need to stay with stay with your skill sets, upgrade your skills. And I do think that also other people think, you know, if you had a little more education besides what you got or a little more practice in one other area, they probably think you'd be like a star after that, after you had
Mm-hmm.
some of those skills. That's how I see. They think good things, but they might think you might need to know more, you know. But it seems pretty positive to me. What do you think, Anne Marie?
I'm shown that they see you as a great communicator, Jan. They also feel that you haven't always been appreciated. They see you as somebody that has conviction to your ideas and beliefs, and that even if they thought they were wrong, you would still insist they were right. I'm shown that they feel you believe in yourself and you believe in the job, and I'm shown that many people feel that they're lucky to have you because you're probably better than this job deserves.
Yeah.
And that's what I see. All right, I'm going to go back to the chat room or the video. Uh, so Queen gives us all kinds of hearts. Thank you, Queen.
Oh, great.
And I am going to try to find Empress, and hopefully she's here to still hear. Mystical Empress. Hi, Anne. Okay. I have no question from Empress that I see. So I'm just going to do, let me see. Okay. She would love to have a reading, she says. So because I don't see a question,
That's all right.
we don't need one. But we have another one in
Well,
the room.
I'm
Hello,
seeing that
Natalie. We will give you a reading um, after we give Empress a reading.
Empress. I'm seeing that there's a guy that's in better days. I shouldn't touch my face. It always looks like I'm doing a nose pick from that angle. I just had a look at. I just noticed what I had done. And I thought, oh my gosh! And I know that will be a freeze frame from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be on all the ads, all the flyers. But anyway, there's a guy that you know, or there's a masculine energy partner in your life. There's a guy he's not very good with committing. He might be a difficult case, and you're being encouraged to maybe consider that though he is attractive, and though that's the trouble, some of these people are so darned attractive, and they're just not.
Hmm.
Not. They're just not very sympathetic sometimes. Yeah, I'm just not seeing that. I'm not seeing. It's like he lives in a fantasy world, and the cards wanted you to know that. It's like they're not saying he's a horrible person. They're just thinking like, well, you might not be. This match might not be for you forever, for one thing, unless something changes. I do see that in the near future, you're being warned about causing problems for yourself. I do see that it's the kind of thing that you could lose freedoms over. Like you could lose so much money that you can't go anywhere, or if you're going to do something dishonest, you might lose your freedom because of that. You're being told to watch out because you could lose so much by creating this, and this is something that you are in control over. So you have to be careful that you always maintain your integrity, no matter what anybody else wants you to do, because you can lose your job, you can lose your pride, your house, your reputation. So always stay true to yourself and do the right thing, okay? And those people who say, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore unless you do this, and if it's the wrong thing to do and you know it is, then fine. You'll find somebody else. You'll find somebody else who won't want you to get into trouble or to take some terrible risk. Okay? So that's what I have to say. Stay true to yourself and stay honest. You'll be happier for it. That's it.
Empress, I'm shown that there is somebody in your life that is coming off with an arrogance or a sense of unemotional attitude that seems to be in your mind not a real problem. And I feel that maybe you're right, but your reading says that this person seems to be someone that either has a child in their life or is maybe a father or husband of someone you have as a child. There is a sense also that this person has been hiding their emotions and covering them up with a facade. They seem to be trying to pretend that they don't care. when actually they do. They can also feel as if this person just cannot handle it when you are strong and feeling good about yourself. It's almost as if this person feels like then they go from being arrogant to suddenly being jealous and vindictive. I'm shown that this person is somebody that you definitely need to be able to get out of your life, or not get out of your life, but to, for whatever reason, stop seeing this as no problem, because it may potentially be a big problem. How do you solve it? I guess you cut it at the roots. You just understand that someone around you may be pretending to be, or maybe saying one thing or acting one way, but feeling totally opposite. And if this is giving you mixed messages, you need to make it clear that you're not going to tolerate it anymore. That's what I'm shown. And it says that this is the immediate problem, and I don't know whether this is at work or whether it's in your actual life. But it says, watch out for somebody who's sending mixed messages, that really is faking it, who's quite intimidated by your strengths. And because there seems to be a common denominator, either a child or a possible career situation, you need to understand that they are not walking their talk. And that's what I have.
Yeah, and also it just one of the things that just came into my mind is that if this person has done something that you know is unacceptable, you have to do the right thing. And you have to just simply, you cannot go along with any of this. You know what I'm saying? Is that if you have this doubt and if you have this, but see, the fact that we both pulled up these cards and it's a person who's just like, ugh, it just makes me really worried. So I'm just saying, be careful. And who do we have next?
Next person we have three of them right now. We have Natalie. Natalie wants a reading, and she is saying, and please, everybody, please give us a like. If we give you a reading, please do us the favor of giving our video a like. That's, you're getting two readings in one. So please remember, we need that. We are going to have to start making this a fire, or what do we want to call, Hail Mary readings. Our room is starting to fill up, Joseph. So 3-card readings, okay?
Okay.
We have Natalie. Okay again. Thank you, guys. What's your question? Leave the man. Okay. Natalie, I'm looking for your question. I'm not seeing it. Let me look here again. Otherwise, why don't you just read on Natalie and I will.
Natalie is Natalie. You're a very youthful, childlike person, and I do see that you have much to learn, and you have places to go. And actually, you're always being encouraged to be that free spirit that you are, and don't worry about somebody else's rules for you or demands upon your conformity. Don't conform, but you're also being told to watch where you're going, because we got the Fool and he's upside down about to walk off a cliff. And usually the Fool is very good, but the Fool in this case is that you're wonderful, but you need to look where you're going. Okay?
Good, right to the point. Okay,
Yes.
Natalie, here's what I have about you. It says you have been very receptive to, it seems like, a room full of deadbeats. It's like your magnetism and your energy is far, far more strong and far more receptive.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have receptivity.
Yeah.
And it says that it seems like everyone that's almost intimidated by you is going out of their way to either ignore you or pretend that they can't compliment you on your successes. So understand this is a common problem with people that are magnetic. Until you're on their TV set, they're not going to give you credit. They're going to ignore you, or they're going to tell you that what you're doing through their actions means nothing. But I'm going to say, Natalie, you rock. Don't let anyone put you down. And my feeling is that people are intimidated by your successes. Okay, we're going to go to okay, Mystic Empress says, no guy, not dating. So, Mystic Empress, I don't know if you're
Good.
working, but understand that we saw somebody around you that is causing you to have mixed messages. And my feeling is you need to pay attention to someone around your career, or maybe even a sister or brother in your family who is predominantly coming out with very strong mixed messages that they do not mean. And so that's what we had for you, honey bunny.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're looking at, um, let me see, we have Natalie and then we have Snarky Star. Snarky Star says,
You know what? She
hello,
might not, she's probably about to meet that guy. You know, the thing is, he might not even know him yet. He might meet him tomorrow because it's real soon.
it's not in your life now, it's coming
Yeah. Okay, so who's next?
up. Snarky Star says, wants a general reading. Snarky Star wants a
Okay,
general reading.
Snarky Star.
Please remember,
All right.
everybody, please give us a like on the video. We need your video likes. That's your
Oh
payment for
dear.
our readings to you. Okay?
Well, Snarky has had a lot of grief in the recent past, and it's represented by terrible cards like knives in the heart, knives hanging over your head, swords. Those are very piercing emotional things of great distress, and you have my condolences on it. I want to point out that's going away. Okay, that's going away if it hasn't gone already. And you also, too, you have to get used to the fact that it's gone away. Those wounds take a long time to heal. I do see that you might have become defensive in the present day because of all this. I do see a young man fighting the Seven of Wands, and it says that, but you'll win.
All right,
You
because
will
your question
eventually
was,
win.
has she met her spouse? Are
Yeah,
there,
you'll
are
win.
there, yeah, so it seems like she needs to
Yeah,
understand someone is
yeah,
coming into her life, but
yeah,
here's what I have, Snarky Star, because we're running out of time.
yeah.
Actually, 5:50, we're not too bad. It says, this is a time to have no doubt that anybody that you put into your life must not be someone that you're giving more than you're getting back in return. If you are busting your butt to show gratitude for all of the people around you, and you're feeling as if you're giving all them all the therapy and grounded energy, and they're not giving you shit, my feeling is, Snarky Star, you need to stop doing that. You're way too powerful to allow people to use you. So my feeling is that if you want to pay attention to the fact that giving more than you get back in return does not get the man and even loses the man, I'm going to tell you the first thing you need to do is go to Amazon and buy the book, Why Men Love Bitches. The reason I'm telling you this is because if you've been too kind and if you've given more than you've gotten back, people are going to work you to the max. And the people that have come into your life may act supportive for a while, but the more that you are supportive of them, it's almost as if they get their fix and they leave. So I'm going to tell you again, go to Amazon and get the book, Why Men Love Bitches. You will not only find that it's funny, it's not to show you how to be a mean person, but it's to show you how to have boundaries and how those boundaries work so that you can find that marriage partner that you want. All right, that's what we have on that. Um, if I look at Nick, it says uh, Nikuli Sibande. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but thank you for coming.
Hi, Nick.
This person also wants a general reading. I'm just going to call her Nikki. Please understand that's easier for me to understand if I say that. So let's do a reading for Nikki. I know that may not be the way you say your name, but that's the way we're going to say it.
Oh, well, I do see in the past there was a man who was mature, very mature, older than his age, probably, no doubt. Someone who always concealed his emotions, and somebody very sharp, highly ethical. He's somebody in your past that still influences you today. And I do see that it is something that has given you a lot of intelligence because you are being encouraged to kind of avoid something that sounds too good to be true happening in front of you right now. A business idea, something very tempting, but the cards say it's doomed to failure because you don't have enough capital, you don't have enough money. And actually, it's the monetary issue that's preventing the idea so great, but there's no bucks. So that's why it's not going to work. You have to have the money. So I do see that that's something that you need to work. You need to stay away from people who have poor judgment and who don't have experience. And as the cards here say, as what I've always read to be true, is that take your advice and your venture advice from people only who are successful in what they have done and can prove it. Okay? Because talk is cheap. Okay. Anne-Marie.
Okay, so what I see, if I relate that to what Joseph is saying, Nikki, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name, it says, please be honest with yourself. You have been patient over and beyond the cause for people that have not been flexible with you, meaning that you are open and willing to wait and be patient for people who are stubborn and have so many boundaries that they just won't even they just take things their own way. But the problem is if you continue to do this, it's not going to get you where you're going. If you're in a business or you have a plan, as Joseph says, that requires money, remember that being patient is not going to make it happen. You have to have money to put into the goal. You have to remember you have to spend money to make money. And if you're waiting patiently for a goal to happen to you and you're not getting out there and you're not marketing yourself and you're not putting yourself out there in a way that's going to get you attention, please understand you're lying to yourself. You need to understand you need people, you need support, and otherwise you are invisible. So please understand, what comes up is honesty, but it's reversed, which means that you're lying to yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. You have to put yourself out there. If this is about love, you need to get out there and you need to meet people. No one's going to come knocking on your door. If this is about career or a self-employed business, you need to understand you need to market or get your name out there. If this is about getting from one place to another place, you need to remember you have to save your money because plans don't just happen without a visible way to make them happen. So be real, save your money, invest in what you need to if you're looking for a business or a career move. If you're looking for a move or a house, you need to start saving your money. Being patient is not enough. You got to kick ass. That's what we see. Kick ass, Nikki. Kick ass. That's what I see. Kick ass meaning get to it. All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you
Happy
next week.
2020.
Yeah.
Happy 2020.
That's
Psychic
right.
radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie. Welcome to Achieve Holistic, Spiritual, and Self-Improvement Psychic Radio. Here's a tip. Pull back your shoulders, lift up your rib cage, and tuck in your butt. Aligning your chakras will help you to absorb a more positive